Hi everyone. I haven't really been doing a good job about being consistent since my last closet confessional live session. So I decided that now that Jason's putting the baby to bed and Ava is cooperating immensely, even though she's literally sitting across from me watching me because she refuses to leave right now because my kids don't like me to ever be alone. I am back tonight and we are going to talk about body shaming, particularly amongst our kids. I think that nothing made me more aware of saying certain things about my own body and other people's bodies until I had not only children, but especially daughters. And so it's something very important to think about. And I had a friend reach out to me to ask me the next time we did one of these to talk about a specific incident involving her child, who is the same age as my oldest. She's 9, and she was basically body shamed by a little boy who told her she was fat. So obviously, when I hear things like that happen, every single mama bear instinct and red flag goes off in my body, and I want to shake the parents of that person because it is so hard, I think, especially now. There's so much pressure on us as adults and our children, and it's so important for us to have positive body image no matter what our body looks like, and to make sure our kids feel the same way. And I'm noticing now with a 9-year-old little girl, I can't believe it happens this early, but I'm noticing all of those triggers, those things that they become aware of with their own bodies. And I've made comments, and we're all guilty of it. I've made comments in the past of, oh, I don't like this, it makes me look fat, or I don't like this, my arms look too big. And I've had my own daughter say to me, Mom, you're crazy, you're so pretty, or you're perfect, or you're this, or you're that. And it's to see yourself through the eyes of a child every once in a while, I think, is so important, because our children love us. They know nothing of skinny, fat, tall, short. They don't. Like, we really kind of impress all of those things upon them. And I think with so many changes in our society, with what acceptable norms have become versus what they used to be, I think it's so important for us to make our kids aware of what they say about themselves, what we say about our own bodies in front of them. And the biggest news that has hit recently that ties into all of this is everything that's going on with the Miss America pageant, how they now scrapped the swimsuit portion, which I, for one, think is incredible. I think it's unbelievable because, and let me be very clear, when I've seen these women go up on stage in their swimsuits, I think it takes such courage. I don't care what your body looks like. I don't care if you're a size 2 or if you're a size 20. To prance on stage in a swimsuit takes a certain amount of moxie, and I give them such credit for publicly bearing their bodies in that way. But I think it's so incredible that the organization has now gotten rid of that part of it, because we can focus on the intelligence and how they compose themselves and how they speak and the things they do. And so I think it's so incredible that it's shifting. I never really thought we would see that in our generation, because it's one of those staples that have been around for so long, and they've done things a certain way, and everyone's kind of just accepted it for the most part and gotten used to it. So the fact that it's being shaken up is so awesome, because I do think that we should look on the inside. I think that, we all have our moments, okay? I'm a mother of 2. I've been petite my whole life, but it doesn't mean that I don't have my own shtick and my own body issues. I can gain a pound and it feels like 10. I can gain, no weight and I just feel bloated one day. We all have those moments as women. It doesn't matter what size you are, but I think we have to be so conscious about what we say about ourselves around our kids, because they mimic us and they copy us. Sarah, it's so true. I cannot believe someone told Ava this. She's such a gorgeous and wonderful, hold on, a little lady. When my girls were first born, I could tell they had my thighs, and I apologized to them for it. And then a friend was like, no, you tell them how strong they are for it. And yes, they are. A couple of months ago, I went to the beach and wore a bathing suit, because my kids don't care how I look. They care mommy gets in the sand with them and have fun. Sarah, you are so right. But let me just back up a second. Nobody said that to Ava. It was a friend. It was a friend who said that. But Ava has she's made comments sometimes like, oh, am I fat? Is this fat? She probably doesn't even understand the gravity of that question. They just repeat what they hear. They repeat what the things that are said to them. And those things come from home. And I also think that with little boys, moms of little boys, you also have a responsibility here. You have a responsibility to help your little boys understand that, you don't say certain things to anyone, men, women, girls, boys. You don't talk about their bodies. You don't shame them for being a certain shape or size. We all have to accept each other. And I was having a conversation with someone earlier today about how our kids are not born with prejudice about anything. They're not born with hate. They're not born knowing, what's supposed to happen, what their bodies are supposed to look like. It's us as parents and the people around them that help shape those values. And so that's one of the other reasons I'm so happy that the Miss America pageant is getting rid of the swimsuit portion, because I want my daughters, for one, to always feel confident and to feel beautiful no matter what they look like, no matter what they're wearing, no matter what makeup they do or don't have on, whatever they choose to do. But more importantly, I want them to be proud of their intelligence and for people to point that stuff out. Like, does it feel good when someone says to you, oh, you look so pretty? Of course it does. We're human. We want those compliments. But I want my kids to understand the importance of someone highlighting their ability to speak in front of a public audience, or their intelligence, or how good they are in a specific subject in school, or how well they do their job, or things like that. I don't want them to have this huge importance on physical, what their physicality is like. Oh, Sarah, did I do something different with my eye makeup? No, I'm actually not even wearing eye makeup. I have just mascara on. It is the best mascara though, but I think it's the lighting of my closet. Maybe my closet is doing me good. And do not apologize for all the comments. I love, love, love to have this conversation. I think all of us need to have it. And I think that we wait too long. I think we think our kids are so little and they don't understand the importance of body image and issues and things like that. But like I said, when Ava comes home from school and makes certain comments about, things that other kids say or what they're talking about, I'm becoming more and more aware of, as a mother, of how early these things happen. I mean, we've had conversations about popular girls, which blows my mind, because I don't remember thinking about popularity or anything like that probably until middle school or high school. And these kids are 8 and 9 years old. And so the fact that these conversations are happening and what makes these girls popular and what the body image that ties into that, it is so top of mind for me, and I'm so conscious of it. I mean, I definitely used to be guilty of walking around and putting something on and changing a million times, and when I changed, complaining about a certain part of my body and how it looked, and was so hard on myself. And I literally had a wake-up call, and I don't even remember what it was for, but I was trying something on and I hated how my arms looked, and I made a comment about my arms being fat, and Ava came back at me and told me I was crazy. My arms were not fat. And it was in that moment that I realized she's listening to every single thing I said. And I always knew that, but I never really thought about the body part of it. I never thought that that would translate in a way where it would ever create an issue for her. And that woke me up so quickly, because I don't ever want anyone around me, especially my children, to feel shame or feel upset because of the way that they're built. Do I think that you should try your best to have a healthy lifestyle? Absolutely. Do I think that you should exercise and try and put good things in your body? Absolutely. But I'm not going to be a hypocrite and tell you that last night I didn't eat 2 Mojo donuts from Pembroke Pines for Father's Day, or that if I want a cheeseburger, I don't have it. I indulge in the things that I want. And to me, it's worth it sometimes to feel a little bit extra bloated, to have to enjoy life and have those things in moderation. And I want my kids to understand the importance of a healthy lifestyle and that why balance is important. But I never ever want them to feel the pressure of having to look a certain way. I want them to be able to walk around with confidence no matter what their body looks like. And so we never really watch the pageants here, not for any other reason than usually they're typically past my bedtime and I'm asleep, but I really kind of want to make a point to watch with my girls. Sienna won't understand, but for Ava to see these women, these incredible, intelligent women getting up on stage and speaking in front of a huge audience and not even knowing what it's like to see them prance around in a swimsuit. And like I said, I give them credit because their bodies are incredible. I mean, these women obviously work out and take it so seriously so that they can be up there in that moment and feel comfortable for whatever that means for them in those bathing suits on stage. But why? It's so much more important now, I think, as a woman to have a little bit of an of an edge and moxie and intelligence than it is to have the perfect body in a bathing suit. So I don't know how you guys feel about the development of it. I think it's incredible that they made that change. I really never thought that would happen anytime soon, because I think people hang on to tradition and hang on to the way that things have always been, and no one would really have the courage to change it. So I think it's amazing. It's a huge shift for us. I hope that there's a little bit of a ripple effect in, just society in general from that happening, and that women can be judged on what makes them up versus what they look like. Because I am surrounded by so many women of different shapes and sizes, of different, ethnic backgrounds, of different socioeconomic backgrounds, and all of them bring something to the table. Everybody brings something to the table, and nobody should be judged on their physical appearance or being a size 2 in a bathing suit or anything like that. Sarah, I love that you're having this conversation. Hold on. She says, me again, every day I tell them I am smart, I am kind, I am brave. We don't include anything about beauty. I love that. And I'm not going to be unrealistic. Every woman, I don't care what you look like, every woman likes to be complimented. They like to be, whether it's, I love your shoes, oh my God, your hair looks amazing, you look so pretty, your skin looks great. Everybody loves a compliment. Let's not fake the funk. Everybody likes it. It makes you feel good. You get a little spring in your step. But let's start complimenting the right things. Oh, hi, Carol. Kisses to you. Let's start complimenting the right things. It's okay for, and I'm not going to be one of those people who jumps on one side of the fence and says, you can't tell your kids they're beautiful, they're this, that. I tell my kids every day that they are like the most perfect creatures that have ever been on this planet. I love everything about them from their head to their toes. I don't care. But we are raising the next generation of men and women, and I want people to take more stock in what we tell our kids about body image, and that starts with us. And they hear, Sarah, like you said earlier in this conversation, you said they hear everything we say. They're watching us when we don't think we're watching, especially because they like to spy on us when they don't think we're aware, and they're paying attention to little intricacies in conversations. And so it's so important to be aware of what we portray to them. And with that, I do also think it's okay to have those days where you don't feel so great about yourself. I also don't want my kids to grow up thinking that if they, wake up one day and they're not feeling, they're in a little bit of a funk physically, it's okay. It's normal. It's okay to feel that way, but it shouldn't take over your life, and it shouldn't put you into a downward spiral where you start to obsess about certain parts of your body. I am 41 years old, and it is not until I'd say the last couple of years that I've gotten more comfortable in my skin. After 2 kids and being, I'm like pushing 5'1". I'm really short, so any amount of weight shows on me in a second. And so when I was pregnant, it was rough, and after I had the babies and you see your bodies changing, it's rough. But I want my girls to see that as their mother, I had 2 beautiful, healthy babies, and maybe my body wasn't exactly the same, but that you accept the new normal. You accept what your body becomes, and you work hard to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but within boundaries. Don't do crazy things and extreme things. And I just, it's important. I think it's important. And like I said before, if you're first joining, I see people are popping in and out. I don't just want parents of girls to watch this and say, yes, we need to empower our girls. People who are raising little boys who are going to be around these little girls as well, whether they're friends or they're dating them or whatever it is, they need to be aware too. Little boys need to understand how it feels for a girl, a woman, to be body shamed, and vice versa. Men and little boys should not be shamed either. We are all who we are. And when my friend reached out to me and asked me for the next topic of this to talk about body shaming amongst our kids, I hadn't even thought about it. I think about it all the time as a woman, because women can be really mean. They can. Women just sometimes go for the jugular when they're hurt. But I never thought about it in terms of our kids until, again, if you're just joining, I had a girlfriend reach out to me and ask me next time I went live from my closet to talk about her little girl who was told she was fat at 9 years old by a little boy in her class or her camp group or something. And, we have a responsibility to raise kind, accepting little people. and we're all going to make mistakes along the way because we're human, and we're all going to have those days where we say things we don't mean to say in front of our kids. But I just hope that if you're watching this, whether you are a parent or not a parent, or whether you have boys or girls, that we can all kind of, with this shift happening now and getting rid of the swimsuit competition, all these things that are changing with body image and the people we see on magazine covers and plus size models who some of them, the fact they call them plus size models is like mind-boggling to me because it's just crazy. But all these things are starting to change a little bit because people are taking action, and I think it's awesome. Sarah, your comments I'm loving it. Hold on. I want my girls to know they are perfect regardless of their size. Of course, I want them to take their healthy seriously, but being skinny doesn't necessarily mean you don't have health problems. Things need to be kept in perspective. I totally agree. I cannot tell you how many women I have been around. Michelle, youth is beautiful no matter what size, 100%. I cannot tell you how many women I've been around in my life who are skinny, sometimes painfully skinny, and the image they're portraying to their kids, and no, don't eat that. No, mommy can't have that. Mommy's only having a salad without dressing, and no this. And you do what you want to do. Carry yourself the way you want to carry yourself. But kids see when you take that paper towel and you get grease off your pizza. Kids see when you pull every single crouton out of your salad. And I get that there's certain health reasons sometimes for doing things, but we don't want to create those things with our kids. Like, let them have the sprinkles in their ice cream. Who cares? Let them have croutons in their salad. And, unless there's allergies or health concerns or things like that, if we start to put these things in our kids' heads about the amount of fat they're taking in and calories at this age, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but I don't see how that doesn't create an issue in their head. I don't see how they don't then become conscious of it. And I never want my kids to be conscious of it. I don't. I want them to enjoy life and have a really, really good balance between, eating that cheeseburger and fries and having quinoa the next day. I want them to understand that. Oh, I'm getting good ones. Hold on. Let's see. Karen, this happened to my daughter in kindergarten. That is awful that somebody body shamed her. That's awful and disgusting. I hate hearing that. Michelle, that's why I avoid salad. True. That's a good tactic also. And Karen, this happened to my daughter in kindergarten a few times throughout elementary school. I know that it's not new that kids are mean. But being a mother, and most of my audience are parents, and so I'm sure you guys all see it. Kids are mean, and I don't understand. I don't understand. If you have the mean kid. You do. I'm sorry, but as a parent, because it's either been pointed out to you or you see your kid in action. If I ever saw my child or my children being mean to anybody, I would nip it in the bud. And I think that sometimes kids test boundaries, and there's a difference between testing boundaries and saying things maybe they shouldn't have said, not realizing the consequences, and being a mean girl or a mean boy. Parents, if you have that mean child, nip it in the bud, because guess what? Those mean kids turn into the ones who body shame their classmates and make them feel bad and turn into bullies. And I've had bully situations with my oldest. I've had them, and it's mind-blowing as a child, as the parent of a child who is on the receiving end of it. When you see those things happen and you're reaching out to certain people to help change that behavior, and people are in denial, or you don't know, never my kid, not my kid. If someone ever came to me and said, listen, your kid said something really mean to my child on the playground or this or that, I would explore that until I knew every side of the story, and I'd figure it out and I would fix it if she was at fault. I just don't understand. I don't understand why it's even a thing. I don't. So like I said, not to go off on a rant from my little live from my closet session, but I think the news of the whole swimsuit competition being taken away from Miss America is actually going to be pretty incredible for our kids to see. Because they're going to now start to see a competition that is based on more than just beauty. And I think that's awesome. I think it's going to change the way that we define beauty and the way that we define what is, what it means to be beautiful versus just what the traditional, you have to be a size 2 wearing spiked heels and, a bathing suit that goes up your tush and look perfect and whatever. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm curious what you guys think, what you think of the swimsuit competition being taken away. Will it make you watch it? Will it make you not want to watch it? Do you not care? I'm just curious what other people's take on it is, because I do think it has bigger implications than just that. It's not just about taking the swimsuits away. It's the mindset behind it. It's a big deal, I think. Let's see, Stephanie. Oh, Sarah, I will throw down. My main goal as a mom is to raise kind people. Be nice or be quiet. Totally agree. Stephanie, I've witnessed so many adults not accepting responsibility in general. I wish it was surprising that they deny wrongdoing in their children as well. It's crazy to me, and I don't know why parents deny. I know that as a parent, sometimes your initial instinct is to protect your kid. You don't want them to feel any shame or pain or anything that's directed negatively to them from other people. So I understand the instinct of wanting to think, no, I'm not going to let my kid be treated a certain way, right, wrong, or indifferent. The way that I was raised by my mom is she had our backs, still does to this day, my brother and I, 1,000%. If we did something wrong, she would very carefully handle the situation without throwing either of us under the bus to whoever was involved until she had a chance to kind of come home, do her own reconnaissance, figure out the situation. And if we were wrong, she told us behind closed doors not to humiliate or embarrass us. She told us flat out. To this day, I am 41. My mother still tells me if I'm wrong. And I think that we have to have that dialogue with our kids. We can't just let them get away with things because they're our children. And I think we all should want to raise kind people. So I'm not going to go on and sound like a broken record. I appreciate every single one of you for joining and commenting. And let's raise kind little boys and little girls who turn into kind gentlemen and ladies who respect each other in every situation and who respect each other's body and don't make people feel ashamed of what they look like, whatever that is, because I can't take it anymore. My favorite live ever. Oh, Sarah, I love you. I miss you. We need to get together outside of Facebook Live soon because we live close enough and we need to give each other a big hug. But thank you guys all so much for joining me. You can keep commenting even though if it turns off live, but I am curious how you guys feel about the bathing suit competition being taken away and what that means for our kids going forward. Lynn, great message. Thank you, Lynn. I hope that everyone perceives it as a great message. I never claim to be perfect. I make my fair share of mistakes on a regular basis as a wife, as a person, as in my career, as a mom. I am not perfect, but every day I try and make sure my children know how loved they are, how wonderful they are, and I don't ever want people to take that away from them. I'm working so hard to build it up. So when I hear stories like the one from my friend about her 9-year-old being told by a little boy that she was fat, it hurts my heart because we're better than that. So let's all be better than that and help our kids understand what it is to be kind to one another. And just maybe there'll be bigger changes than just the swimsuit competition being taken out of Miss America. Thank you guys so much for joining me from my live from my closet. And I love this topic. So if you guys have other topics that you want to explore or you want me to talk about, either comment in this section, shoot me a direct message. If we're friends outside of Facebook, text me. However, I want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about because I don't want to just stand here and give a lecture. I like the back and forth. I like the comments. Carol, they should redo the pageant totally and not make it about bodies at all. I agree. And I actually think we're getting there. I do. I think that with the swimsuit part taken away, I think it will encourage more people who maybe had that fear of walking publicly on a stage in a swimsuit. Maybe it will make them, want to apply to be part of these competitions. And I think it's going to change. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think it is going to change things. I think it's incredible. I, for one, am excited to see what the evolution looks like. But I agree with you, Carol. I think that enough time has gone on in this world where people have been judged on their looks, and it's never going to go away completely. We're all going to, continue to experience it on one level or another, and we've all done it on one level. We all have. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were 12 or 22. Everyone has done it, and we need to stop because it's so damaging on a psychological level, on a mental level, it's just damaging. So let's just stop. There's too much going on in our world. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Hello, people.
What do you think about women being judged for their whole package and not just what they look like on the outside? What do you think about that? Do you think we should judge people on their appearance or everything that makes them up?
No.
What do you think?
Not at all. No, because we are all adorable. I mean, maybe not as adorable as me, but...
can't say that I'm not giving her a good amount of confidence. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, and leave a comment if you want to continue the conversation. I'm happy to. I think it's a really important message to spread to our kids, because we all have to be kind to each other, right?
Yes.
Always. So everyone have a great night, and reach out to me with more topics that you want to talk about. Bye, guys.
Bye.